Greetings. This is coming to you from Long Island, where I am for a few days to attend my 50th high school reunion. So I'm going to make this really quick. I wanted to give you all an update on my first week at the Watch Technology Institute, WTI. And so I'm winging this. Sorry for how rough this is, but I want to give you some data and little factoids and some tidbits about what's coming up for WTI. My class is 14 people. So normally it's been 11 people, 11 first-year students and 11 second-year students. They have two separate classrooms. Each classroom has its own set of supplies. They seem to be taking the increase in class size in stride. We got our toolkits this week, at least the first of our toolkits. There'll be multiple toolkits that we get, and a couple of us didn't get some tools because they were back ordered, not enough had been ordered, or something of that sort. So a couple of small hiccups, but nothing cosmic. I mean, everything is really running smoothly. And in the first year classroom, so there's 14 bench tables. We each have our own bench for the year, and they're arranged in rows and columns. And looking at it, the room doesn't feel overly crowded at all. So when they had 11 benches in there, they had even more space, but I don't feel jammed in at all. But I have some interesting news about WTI that I'll tell you at the end of the video. I'm going to quickly splice this into the video. This is the textbook that we're using. There it is. The Theory of Horology is the textbook for year one. So the age range of the class, 14 people, ages from 19 to 67. Greetings from number 67 here. There are 2 women and 12 men. I think, now don't take this as official, obviously, and I was writing down notes as we all did our introductions, but about 6 are from the Pacific Northwest, 3 are from Seattle proper. There are no international students. There are 2 people from Michigan, 1 from Illinois. So besides the 6 from the Pacific Northwest, the remainder are from the rest of the United States. I don't think there's anyone from Alaska, so it would be the continental United States. By personal style, age, their origin, and their previous work experience with watches, it's a very diverse class. There are 3 people who have prior experience either in a sales or a QC role, either at Omega or at Boulevard or at some other place. So those 3 people are attending WTI sort of as a career extender or enhancer. They want to return to where they stopped working, but now have a lot more credentials and be in a watchmaker role. One, the 19-year-old is fresh out of high school, super creative person. He blew me away with what he did for his first class project. So I think 7 out of the 14 are what you would call career switchers. Let's see. So far it's been a blast. It's only my first week, and I felt nearly overloaded with information a couple of times, which is good, right? I mean, push people to their limits, and I got pushed to my limit, and that's great. That's where growth comes from. I found the regimentation took me a day to get used to it. 5 days a week, class starts at 7:30, and there are breaks at certain times, and I have to make the bus at certain times, right? I mean, I've got to be there, and if you get to the bus stop a minute late, you could be 20 minutes late for class, right? So you have to leave buffer space. And of course, obviously, I've taken the bus for years, but now there's something riding on it. I'm not taking a bus to a concert. I'm going to school. So this is, again, only the first week, but it feels like somewhere between 1 and 3 hours of homework and reading per week. I'm going to be getting a lot of reading done on the bus. In fact, I guess I should talk about that now. I've worked out my bus routes. Door to door, I've timed door to door getting there at about 55 minutes and getting home in about 40 minutes. I take different routes to and from, and coming home, my wife picks me up at the stop because walking from the stop to our house is like uphill. But going from home to there, it's not the same case because I'm taking a different route. So, from when I get up in the morning, get up, get dressed, wolf down breakfast, get to the first bus stop all the way through the day, and then coming home, it's about a 12-hour day. I am amazed at how quickly the class has become cooperative, and have cohesion. We all bring something different. Some people are coming in, as I said, with actually prior experience dealing with, Bulova or Rolex or whatever watches. Others of us are coming in career switching from a different kind of career. In fact, a student who sits right next to me used to work at Google, and so he's doing a career switch. And we got to talk about AI and LLMs and the state of the software industry, and I told him my story, and so that was kind of a funny coincidence. Our instructor is Dave McConnon. I'll see if I can find something to flash up on the screen here. Very smart guy, super knowledgeable, very friendly, very, very approachable, really good with giving feedback. Based on just the first week, this is going to be a great year, having him as an instructor. I'm guessing he's our instructor for all of the first year. I don't know, maybe they'll switch off by quarter, but at any rate, he's our instructor for this quarter at the very least of the first year. I had a funny run-in with him. So our first class project is to make a nameplate. So aluminum stock. That's a sort of a square kind of rod, sawed in half on the diagonal with a hacksaw, and then cut that in half. Well, I guess it's the other way around. But anyway, and ultimately you're left with sort of a triangular thing that sits on a desk. It's going to be a nameplate, and you design your name for your nameplate, and then you use jeweler saws to cut out the letters, and then you have to think about beveling and sanding down and what kind of finish you're going to do. And so I'm cutting out my name, and I must have gone through in the first 2 hours like 5 jeweler saws. I mean, I was just that's like I was clearly not handling the tool correctly. I was trying to, but I'm learning here. And at about and by the way, I broke more than 5 saws that first day. But anyway, as of the 4th or 5th saw blade, he goes, very, very matter-of-factly, really, just didn't want to seem accusatory, didn't want to make me defensive, Oh. He goes, so how did this one break? He goes, what were you doing when this one broke? And I was either backing out of a cut or trying to change position, and and he's just very, very, very placid, very unflappable, I guess, is the right way to say it. And it turned out I was not. One of the breakages, at least one, maybe 2 of them, was caused by my incorrectly handling the saw, the jeweler saw, and the jeweler saw blade as I was threading it through an existing hole in the aluminum stock and then tightening up the saw blade. So the next day I was working for about an hour on the piece, and I came to him and I said, by the way, it's been an hour and I haven't broken a saw blade yet today. And he goes, that's good. Oh, it cracked me up. The supplies and tools that WTI has blows me away. There's a lot of goodies in the classrooms, and I'm looking forward to learning how to use every single last one of them. Let's see. So this nameplate project is tangentially related to watchmaking because it's an introduction to handling physical tools. A lot of the first year, or at least the first part of the first year, will be on mechanics and micromechanics, right? What are we doing? We're thinking about sawing and fine sawing and sanding and, filing and then sanding and polishing. And, when you are going to go actually try to manufacture a gear, right, or a balance staff, right, or a pivot, those are the things that will come into play. And so it's I think it's pretty sure it's an introduction to the physicality of dealing with these tools. And it's a fun project. 3 of the people in the class have just been at least 3 have been super creative with their nameplate. My nameplate says John. Jay, I kept it really simple and it's been hard enough as it is, but there are other nameplates in the classroom that just, the individuals blow me away with their creativity. Like, I never thought of doing what they are doing with their name on the aluminum at all. With my name, they dreamed it up, and it's just amazing. Maybe what I'll do when they're all finished, if You know what I'll do? I think I'll take a picture of everyone's nameplate, maybe, and include it in a future video. WTI apparently will be expanding. What we heard from David is that they are taking over, sort of absorbing an adjacent classroom. So WTI right now is I guess it's the equivalent of sort of three classrooms. There's classroom 1, classroom 2, a common area, an instructor's office, and a break room, combo break room library. They're going to be absorbing an adjacent entire classroom on one side of the current suite of offices. They'll be knocking down a wall between that room and the existing suite to make a connection. And I guess there was a watch school back east that went under. I didn't hear about this. The name escapes me at the moment. It's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, they are buying a slew of supplies and tools. And David offhand said something like, yeah, we've got 40 pallets of stuff coming in and we don't know what to do with it, which I don't know if that was an accurate count, but apparently it's a lot of stuff. It's a good problem to have, right? They expanded, 11 to 14 class size is, 25 or 27 some odd % increase, which is huge percentage-wise. And now they're getting in a lot of equipment. And so, I don't know if there's going to be any change to the program at all, but I would guess certainly they would be able to house new and different tools and equipment to teach students on, as well as maybe increase the class size again. Who knows? I guess that's about it. That's all I have. I'm going to spend the next 3 days engaging and reminiscing of my high school years. Tonight is the big reunion, and then tomorrow we have a brunch, and I'm going to be doing some sightseeing on Long Island, so that'll be a lot of fun. That's it. I wish you well. Take care. Till next time.